What's good, y'all? I know I said 3:30, but the sun was hitting so perfectly that I had to hop on. How's it going, y'all? How you feeling? Oh, wow, there's a lot of you guys in here. Okay, I literally thought like 20 people would hop on. This is crazy. How we feeling? I have never done this. This is like, a lot of you guys have probably never heard me speak. Surprise. I say words. And thank you for hopping on my collective CK Zoom meeting. So is my favorite song. Thank you so much. It's it's the sun. The sun is doing all the work. I'm doing literally none of the lifting here. The sun is just beaming on me. Shows in the Bay Area anytime soon. Yes, so next year, Suspension drops this month. You'll be hearing about tour dates very soon. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll sing you a song on tour, I promise. Awesome. So I just wanted to hop on and just kind of hang out with you guys and like let you know that I'm a real human being, and just kind of answer some questions. And you guys could literally ask me anything. I'm just chilling at home right now, sitting in the birthplace of a lot of the songs that you've heard over the past couple of years. And yeah, I'm super stoked to actually be talking to you guys. When are you? Okay. Word on soul. Kuria, there's an announcement coming very soon. Just stay tuned, and you will be hearing from me very, very soon. Nairobi. Love for Nairobi. I would love to go back. My family and friends in Kenya, just let me know if you want me to come, and I'd love to figure that out. That'd be so sick. I haven't been since I was like 9 years old. So that was like back in like the mid 2000s or something. Deep Green and So have been on repeat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into some of these questions real quick. So there's a little question thing down there. You guys can definitely just start dropping some questions. What inspired the new album? Honestly, I feel like I just really got into like 80s ambient music, and a lot of the inspiration, at least for the sound, doesn't come from R&B. It comes all from sort of like Toto and like Sting, The Police, like Phil Collins, a lot of stuff that doesn't traditionally inspire R&B music, which personally I don't even like the idea of like the genre sort of boxes. But yeah, like a lot of it was just like 80s guitar and like sort of like a lot of ambience and a lot of like big sort of just the 80s sort of vibe. Which really I didn't realize that was happening until I was about halfway through writing the songs. I was like, wow, like I think the sort of common thread that binds all these songs together is just like the use of chorus on the guitar and like reverb and a lot of that different sort of stuff. And it just kind of happened to sort of fall into this 80s pocket that I think is really cool. Let's see here. Tour very soon, I promise. I'm so excited. It's gonna be a great time. What is your creative process when you begin writing a song? You start with a chorus and work around it, or verses first? This is like, I think about this all the time, because I think the worst thing for a songwriter is having a great hook and not having like any sort of structure to go around it. and it's like the verses have to live up to that chorus. This happened to me with Losing You. Losing You took like 6 months for me to write because I just had the chorus and I had like no other idea that could live up to the energy of the chorus. And so I was just sort of trying all these different iterations. I have like probably 6 different versions of that song. And we finally landed on the last sort of, on the version that you hear now somehow. And, but usually I'm starting with, I think it can happen the other way around too. Like when you have a really great verse and you have nowhere to go, it's like the worst thing ever. And that happens all the time. But usually I start with a chorus idea because that's just the most catchy part of the song. And I just kind of go from there. Usually it just starts with me playing guitar or just driving around and an idea will hit me and I'll just kind of go from there. Let's see here. Are you going to come to the UK? Absolutely. Let's see here. This is the first time I'm doing this, so my apologies for being so inept at this live thing. Does your music translate into your sense of fashion? That's a great question. Somehow over the past year, I've found myself wearing all black all the time. And I feel like it doesn't really tie into the music, but I don't know. I guess you could make that connection. I think that suspension of disbelief is probably the most sort of introspective, reflective songs that I've written, and I feel like it might connect in some way. But I feel like in general, like I've just been getting super into fashion and like really being intentional with like studying that world, especially with like what I'm doing with the all the Taroka merch and all that stuff. I really am excited to sort of like take it to a place that's really intentional and really in line with the aesthetic that I'm going for in the music and just having it all be its own world. But yeah, which by the way, guys, there's new merch, link in bio, as we say. Let's say, what genre would you say your music falls into? I should have an elevator pitch for my music, but I the way that I usually describe it is like, I obviously like grew up loving John Mayer, like worshipped the ground that he walked on, as me and every other guitar player in the world my age tend to do. And I think that for a while I was describing it as like if John Mayer made ambient alt R&B, that would best encapsulate what I do, I guess. But honestly, I have no idea how to describe it, especially the newer stuff. It's really tough to sort of put it into a box, especially because I'm always listening to different stuff and like always inspired heavily by something like new every like month to month. And so when are you coming to Korea? Very soon. You're going to hear about it very, very soon. Shout out to Korea, by the way. That I went to Korea in July, and it was, first of all, this year has been really the first year that I've left the United States. And so just like being there and experiencing the crazy humidity, which is like, I've been on the West Coast my entire life and I've never experienced humidity like that. And it was so refreshing. It was just such a cool, like, perspective, having not been really anywhere outside of my state even. I saw, how did you find Alex Isley for the Taroka remix? Alex is a great friend of me and my collaborators, and so that was kind of, it came together very, very, very naturally. Shout out to Alex for doing that. I'm such a huge fan of her voice. She's amazing. Let's see here. Um, who designs your album single covers? What's the inspo behind this album cover art? So actually, the you guys are going to see it very soon. The front cover of the project. What you're seeing right now is the back cover. But my business partner, Rob Augustine, who is sort of the founder of the Arme label, he is kind of a jack of all trades, and he has designed a lot of the. Him and I have worked closely in designing a lot of the newer stuff that you're seeing, but a lot of the singles were actually created by this amazing artist named Nicholas Law, and yeah, like it's super cool to sort of build the entire world, especially over the amount of time that I've been dropping the singles and like seeing it sort of unfold. It's been an interesting journey because I've gotten to sort of like make the album as I'm sharing it, which has been really cool. And yeah, like, so it's always, and then Undine Marcus shoots pretty much everything that you've seen of me. Every picture that you've seen of me has been shot by Undine Marcus. My wonderful, beautiful friends. Let's see here. I love you guys. Thanks so much for showing up. This is crazy. Yeah, Europe, Asia, y'all hold tight. You're going to hear about some dates very, very soon. How did you find out that you were great at, thank you, that you were great at making music? You know, my whole process and my whole career has been very like casual and very like, let's just put something out on YouTube and see what people think. Never really saw myself as like, oh, I'm great at making music. It's just a matter of like, I love it. And I've been writing songs ever since I was a kid. Literally since I was like in second grade, just like sitting at the piano, like playing like chopsticks and writing like lyrics over that. But you know, it's been a process from my perspective because, you know, every song that I write is written in a different part of my life, and I'm able to look back and sort of, you know, look at how far I've come as a writer, look at what I can work on. And like as artists, we're our harshest critics, which is the balance of the art world, really. And so, yeah, like I feel like it's pretty, it's just been sort of just this naturally unfolding thing. Let's see here. Watched the interview the other day. I loved hearing about your background in church and how you started producing your own music. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, like I grew up playing in church, like just being a church musician, being a church guitarist, which really has informed the instincts that I have for the chord progressions that I write, just for all of the harmony that I hear it's been really fed to me and taught to me through being a church musician. And so, which like all the best musicians in the world are in church and come from church. And so it's definitely like, yeah, like a musical background that I'm really proud of and still inform my artistic decisions to this day. Wow, the sun is hitting. How are you guys feeling? I'm doing pretty well. I'm enjoying this cold weather. It's starting to rain in California, which is like literally, I'm thriving in the rain. I'm thriving in the rain. Shout out to Trader Joe's. This shit is crazy. If you guys haven't tried this strawberry rhubarb soda, get hip. What's your favorite guitar riff from any of your songs? Ooh. That's a great question. You know, it's funny because, and I'll just say this really quickly for all my guitar player people out there. I feel like as a guitar player, my songs don't have guitar riffs. Like I think I focus so much on the chord progression and just the general vibe of the song that usually like the guitar playing kind of takes up a back seat. But if I had to pick right now, I really like the nylon acoustic guitar riff in So. I feel like, but I also really love the sort of like the chorused out 80s guitar in the end of Deep Green. So like that, those would probably be my favorite. But I like the pattern in Sun Bleach. I just like, I'm really proud of the new stuff. So I would say that right now it's So and Deep Green for my favorite guitar parts. Let's see. Let me check this little. There's like ambient 80s music playing in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but love it. Perfect accompaniment for this cold, rainy weather. Where are you guys from? Drop in the comments where you guys are watching from. Do you write about specific people or situations? Or do you find it sometimes generic relationships? Everything that I've written has come from... I'm very bad at writing from this sort of like the ambient background emotional information of my life. Everything stems from a story. So every song that you've heard from me, except for maybe like a couple, have been about something that has happened to me or something I've experienced or felt. So I feel like it's all very personal to me. And obviously I'm inspired by sadness. So there's a lot of that. Which is why when I wrote Too Good and I showed it to my friends for the first time, they were like, I know now that the reason they were not giving me the response that I wanted was because they were so used to me just in my feelings, and hearing a song like that from me was such a departure from my general sort of perspective songwriting wise. So wow, you guys are from all over the place. This is crazy. New York, San Diego, Chile, Florida, Michigan. Wild. Let me answer a few more. Let's see. What inspired the song Too Good? I wanted, like I was talking about, I wanted a song that people could. I think at the time, I had nothing but sad songs. And I had enough to say about the feeling of sort of like the sort of undeserving infatuation with a person that I just was like, I want a song that people can dance to at their weddings. I wanted something that they can play when they're happy, because my entire identity is sadness, which I'm actually proud of now. So, because you know what? I always say, like at the shows, if I get you farther into your own feelings, then I've done my job. Let's see here. This questions thing is really interesting, the way that it sequences all these. Releasing new music soon, yes. 29th of this month. Can you give me guitar lessons? I'm a terrible teacher. I don't know how I even play, because I barely am able to explain how I do what I do. But did I go to music school? I studied classical music for a year, switched to journalism, realized that was the worst mistake of my life. And I was like, I'm going to take a break and focus on music. And I'm still on that break. And it's been great. It's been great. Where do you find good drum samples? Do you have any Tips on programming drums. Just I feel like just to get real with you guys for a second, I feel like from a production standpoint, drums are really the trickiest part for me. But I have a good friend, Keith Waters, who's always giving me literally just loads and loads and loads of just like great drum sounds, and also just hanging around Jack Dine, because he can just throw together drums that sound great like in an instant, and it's truly just not fair. Back to DC, definitely. They love Deep Clean and Sun Bleach. Thank you so much. It means so much. Honestly, like I felt like Sun Bleach and Deep Green were enough of a departure artistically for me to feel like I wonder how this is going to go down. This just kind of is different than what I put out. And so the fact that you guys mess with it is truly, truly amazing. Let's see here. Let's answer a couple more. Can you show me the guitars you have? They're unfortunately not all here with me right now. Let's see here. What artists do I listen to? This year I've been heavy on Kendrick, Dijon, and Tame Impala. I feel like Dijon put out last year, I like loved, I'm such a huge fan of that Absolutely record, which like really informed a lot of like the stuff that I made this year, but also just like listening to a lot of Tame Impala and a lot of like I said, Japanese ambient, sort of 80s, like experimental synth stuff has been really like the fueling. Yes, Dijon, exactly. It's so good. The dress is great. How's your experience touring? Are there any other cities you would love to go to? I love playing live. It's so funny because it's like there's this rush of nervousness right before you go on, and then it's just like, oh wow, I remember why I do this whole thing. It's just like to connect with people and to play music and to play guitar and just like have a great time. I've really been enjoying it. Favorite artist from the 70s, 80s? Probably Stevie Wonder. You should go live more often. Thank you so much for saying that, because this is my first time. And I was very curious how this was going to go. But you guys have been nothing but delightful and wonderful. Let's see here. Just a couple more. Let's do like 4 or 5 more. Or 3 or 4 more, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Do you speak any other languages? My dad spoke Kikuyu and also Swahili, which is what the sort of cultural background of the title of Taroka sort of stems from. I grew up hearing Kikuyu a lot, and I think that there was the idea that my dad was going to teach me and my younger brother the language, but it just never happened, unfortunately. I wish. But, here we are. Yeah, Taroka. Let's see here. Dream collab. I feel like I sometimes have like a perfect sort of dream collab. I think it would be great, obviously, to work with John Mayer and Kendrick, but these are creative monsters. And yeah, I think it'd be great to work with. There's this producer I love, who actually did a lot of the Dijon record. He goes by McGee, and I'm such a huge fan of his sound, and I think that would probably be who I'd go with right now. You guys are so sweet. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna head out. It's almost dinner time. Almost. I guess it's not dinner time yet. But yeah, definitely just stay tuned for more news about suspension of disbelief. It's coming out the end of the month. I'm so stoked to show you the sort of culmination of this project. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming out to the shows, and just like, it's just been a truly wonderful year. Stay tuned about tour dates, and yeah, y'all, this has been fantastic. I'll definitely do this again. Awesome. All right, signing off.